First thing to note is that the window is open, so if you can hear a lot of noise, I apologise, but it is blisteringly hot in here. It's the hottest day of the year so far. It's probably 25 degrees still outside and it's 8 o'clock at night. So yeah, sorry about that. But what I wanted to talk about today is labels. I'm not really one for labels because, you know, I've got all the privileges in the world, cis, male, white, straight. But the problem is that I probably don't have to tell you that, and it's what you assume anyway. And herein lies the actual problem. This is kind of why we have labels in the first place. Because you've assumed, correctly in my particular example, that I'm cis, white, straight and male, it kind of proves why people who aren't cis, aren't straight, and to a certain extent aren't male, you can kind of see why people who aren't like me might want their own labels. Now, I think usefully, at least in the West in 2018, you can say you're straight and it actually means something. It's not necessarily a given. It might be a default position, but there's an acceptance that you may not be straight. So saying that you are straight is an actual piece of knowledge which needs to clear up things potentially. Especially if you're having a night out in the gay village like I was in Manchester once, and I got asked if I was gay rather than if I was straight, if you just get my point here. So yes, I actually say that I'm straight on my profile, but that's perfectly understandable, yeah? Okay. I also say that I'm cis on my profile. Now, you might say, well, that's obvious, isn't it? Well, okay, yeah. You've made the assumption that I'm cis, and you're correct. But it isn't necessarily the case, is it? I may not identify as a man, despite having the appearance of a man. So, on my Twitter profile and on my Facebook profile, it says that I am cisgendered. And I think that's important. In the same way that telling somebody that I'm straight is actually some information which might clear up some misunderstanding or something they wanted to know. The same should be said for saying that you are cisgendered. Now, it's completely up to you if you want to put that on your profile. I'm not making anybody do anything. You know, your label is your choice. But I think it's actually quite good if people who are cis say that they are cis, especially for LGBTQ+ allies. And that's because that saying that you're cis normalises that there is more than just cis people in the world. So of course that can include trans and gender fluid people, as well as people who are agender and other things which would mean they are not cisgendered. Also, I think describing yourself as cis recognises your privilege in being cisgendered. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't go down the street and say that I'm cisgendered and I'm straight. You know, I let people make their own assumptions about that when walking down the street, but I wanted a space to put these labels so that it was normalising that, so I understand where I am and what my privilege is, and at the same time acknowledging that there are other ways of being. Of course, as I alluded to before, your label is your own choice. Now, I've made videos before about the potential of me being heteroflexible, and I kind of dismissed that because I didn't think, I thought it was incidental rather than my identity. But of course you could be heteroflexible and still call yourself straight, because if you're going to use labels for yourself, you should use labels which feel comfortable for you, because kind of this is the point. People who are trans and gender fluid and all the other wonderful spectrum of LGBT use those labels because they are inherently uncomfortable with the labels that they are assumed that they are, such as cisgenders, such as straight, such as even being a man or a woman. And that extends to the clothes that they wear, the people they hang out with, how they want to present themselves down the street. All these things are, you know, how they want to be, how you would like to label or to present yourself. So yes, I'm white, I'm cis, I'm straight, and I am a man. And just because your assumption may be correct with me, does not mean it's correct with everybody. And it's not about misgendering or anything like that. It's just about common courtesy. You know, find out about people's pronouns, what they want to be called, and try to not make assumptions about people before you know. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up just down below. Every single week I make a new video, therefore you should subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.